Hello again everyone, it's time to go and fix the pegboard up in the gym. Well, when we're putting the resin into the hole that we're going to drill in the blockwork, one of the most important things will be not to overfill the hole, because then when we push the studding in, we'll displace the resin, which could push the board away from the wall or come up out of the hole and make a bit of a mess that we have to clean up later. So we want to calculate exactly the right amount of resin to put in each hole. You don't want to put in too little either, because then obviously it's not going to stick as well. So hopefully you can see this. The sort of standard advice is to drill the holes 4mm oversized. Now we're using 10mm studding, so that means drilling a 14mm hole. And we're going to try and get 100mm of fixing, so we'll drill the hole 100mm deep. So to get the volume of that hole is obviously pi r squared, so radius of the hole would be 7, so 7 sevens 49, and then 49 by pi gives you 153.9, and then times that by 100, obviously the depth of the hole, which will give us this figure in millimetre cube for the hole, which is 15,000 odd. What do you reckon, Ginge? Do you reckon that's about right? Yeah, okay. So we're using 10mm studding, and that's 100mm long. So the radius of that will be 5, so that's 5 5s are 25. 25 by pi is 78.6. Times that by 100 again, which gives us 7,854 cubic millimeters. So we take that cubic millimeter figure for the hole and for the studding, and take the studding away, which gives us 7,540 cubic millimeters. Yeah, well pointed out, Ginge. I'm making a bit of a mess of this, aren't I? Anyway, that figure for the cubic volume of the resin, which is essentially 49% of the hole filled, so just under half. So really, if we fill the holes halfway, we're laughing, hopefully. Well, I've got me some studding anchors, and I brought a little gun for the resin as well, because the gun I've got isn't very good. And this is the resin I've got, and you can see it is graduated in mils. Obviously we convert those millimetre cubes straight into mils. About 7.5 mils we need in each hole, so I'll probably put 10 in really, just to give it a chance to penetrate the threads and everything in that studding, because obviously 10mm is the diameter to the outside of the thread, so you've got to allow a bit for the cuttings in the threads and any bits and pieces, irregularities in your hole. So that's quite nice. We should be able to use one of these graduations for each hole. First we fixed the bottom and top of the board using the number 10 screws. Then we drilled through the fixing holes in the board with a 10mm masonry bit. Then we enlarged the holes to 14mm, getting access to them by undoing the top and bottom screws one at a time to swing the board out of the way. At this stage we realised the blocks were hollow. You also need to be careful not to drill all the way through the wall like we did. Oops. With the wall being made out of hollow blocks, all our previous calculations were out the window. Now it was necessary to use these mesh sleeves to contain the resin. These are simply filled right up to the top of the hole. We left the resin to dry for about 3 hours since it was quite cold. We were then able to tighten the bolts and trim the edges of the studs as necessary. We also filed off any cut edges on the exposed section of stud. That's all for now. If you enjoyed it, press like, subscribe if you want to see some more, and ring the bell to be notified when we upload something new.